this is Lochridge-Fletcher here with my digital media project, #OscarsSoWhite. So my project is going to be about hashtag activism, and this relates to a digital media issue as we are using social media, aka Twitter, to bring a call to action about Now, what we're going to be talking about today is hashtag #OscarsSoWhite. So in 2015, this hashtag was created by activist April Rain. She is an editor, and she started this just by one tweet in 2015, and it took off and went viral on Twitter then. And then when the awards came out for the 2016 Oscars, it went viral once more. So it started just between fans, people tweeting, their discomfort and how they didn't agree with the nominations when it came out. And then it spread awareness to actors and actresses and a lot of big people in the entertainment industry like Spike Lee and Jada Pinkett Smith, who called for a boycott of the Oscars. Now, later it came out that it wasn't really a boycott. It was more of like, we'll still be watching, but we won't be attending. Another way that the Oscars were boycotted was during the Oscars, April actually didn't watch it. Instead, she watched the Eddie Murphy movie Coming to America and live tweeted it. So by her live tweeting that whole thing, they took away ratings from the actual Oscars, and they had the worst ratings that they've had in years. So here's the tweet that actually started it. You can see the date on there, and it's just a simple tweet saying, "Oscars so white, they asked to touch my hair." So whenever NPR interviewed April, she had no idea that it would get this big. Now, here's an infographic that I found about the diversity gap in the Academy Awards. As you can see that it's all whitewashed. 98% of the producers are white, 98% of the writers are white, and then 88% of the actors are white. So you have a little bit more diversity there, but when you look in the right column about who actually wins the awards, it's 99% white for Best Actress. Only one woman of color has won so far, and that was Halle Berry in 2002. Now, when it comes down for Best Actor, you have a little bit better odds. 92% were white, and you can see that list in the bottom left of just a handful of people of color who've won Best Actor. Now, when it comes for Best Director, same thing. 99% are white, with being male as well, with only one female winning. Now, if you keep going and look at the Academy voters, so the permanent members of the Academy who do vote, 93% were white males, and then you can also see that the average age is 63. So you can see that, the majority are old white voters. Does that sound familiar? Kind of like politics. Now, you can also see here in this awesome infographic that is available online as a website, it's interactive, that it isn't just a disparity between race for nomination, but also between gender, women and male as well. So in this graphic, you can see at the bottom, you have the male population versus female population and how that compares to what's being represented on screen. So this goes back to social cognitive theory that we as humans, we relate to what we see. And if we're watching movies or watching TV without our race being representative, how does that reflect on society? So with a female population of being 13% black, you only see 9% of the black actresses on TV. And then for white, the female population is only 64% white, yet 89% of the actresses are white. Now, when you look over at the actors, kind of the same thing. It's overpopulated, oversaturated in film, the white actors, versus what actually is represented in the population. Now, here's another chart, kind of like the other one, just a different infographic, and you can kind of see at the bottom you have the makeup of the academy. There's a little bit of difference in the average age, 62 to 63, but you can still see they're old white men. Now, for the gender and nominations, you can see the huge gap between male and female. The average age, there's a little bit of a difference, but not that much. And then you have the ethnicity. That's the kicker here. Check out this year's opening Oscars monologue.
What's up, guys? For Complex News, I'm Jinx. The 88th Annual Academy Awards took place this evening, and of course, there was a lot of eyes on the ceremony's host, Chris Rock, with many curious as to what he was going to say during the awards opening monologue. As you know, this year's Academy Awards come under much controversy, with many having voiced their opinions on the lack of diversity in Hollywood, and as a result, the Oscar nominations. Several spoke out, some even chose to sit out of the evening's festivities, while others called for a boycott from talent and viewers as a whole. Chris Rock, aware of all the issues leading up to the ceremony, took it upon himself to prepare new material for the event. He unveiled some of this material during his opening bit, addressing the issues, the industry, and the audience.
Please welcome your host, Chris Rock.
I'm here at the Academy Awards, otherwise known as the White People's Choice Awards. You realize if they nominated host, I wouldn't even get this job.
Rock spoke directly to the protests against this year's show, but highlighted that a lot of the issues discussed this year, unfortunately, aren't new.
It's the 88th Academy Awards. It's the 88th Academy Awards, which means this whole no black nominees thing has happened at least 71 other times. Okay? You gotta figure that it happened in the 50s, in the 60s, and black people did not protest. Why? Because we had real things to protest at the time. You know?
But also facts. Rock took it upon himself to ask and answer the question that's been presented again and again. Is Hollywood racist? Well,
Is it Burning Cross racist? No. Is it fetch me some lemonade racist? No. It's a different type of racist. You're damn right Hollywood's racist, but it ain't the racist that you've grown accustomed to. Hollywood is sorority racist. It's like, we like you, Rhonda, but you're not a Kappa.
approaching the end of his monologue, Chris Rock spoke honestly, discussing what a lot of the frustration, conversation, and attention has all been about.
But what I'm trying to say is, it's not about boycotting anything. It's just, we want opportunity. We want the black actors to get the same opportunities as white actors. That's it,
Now again, the awards are dope, but Chris Rock managed to steal at least a part of the show, for the culture. Stay posted with us here at Complex for the rest of your Oscar coverage by subscribing to our YouTube page. For Complex News, I'm Jinx.
Now, in movies that do include women in a lead role or even a side role, you can see what roles they have. You have the mammy, who is the black motherly nanny figure, and then you also have the Jezebel, followed by that. So that is, it's the infamous stereotype of black women in Hollywood films. It's a promiscuous female with a demanding sexual appetite. So a lot of these women are showcased being raped and being involved in violence. Now, the next one is the sapphire, or the angry black woman. You can see this a lot in Tyler Perry films. Now, she's unhappy and she channels her frustrations on criticizing others. And then the last one is the token black friend. You can see this. I don't even have to cite references to this. Everybody sees that in the movies where the black person always dies first, so they always make sure to have a black friend. Now, this whole project is about Twitter and social media, and here's other examples of viral hashtag activism. Now, when love wins, when love was passed in the Supreme Courts, it went viral on Twitter that summer day, followed by Black Lives Matter. There's a lot I could say about this, but I don't have to. The numbers speak for themselves. From started in 2014 to present, the hashtag is used by millions of people daily. Another viral hashtag movement was Ask Rachel, followed by I Stand with Planned Parenthood as they were attacked through the Supreme Court. Here's a few of my favorite memes about Oscars So White. You have in the bottom right, White's camera action. You have boycott Oscars So White. And then you have this weekend will be whiter than the Oscars regarding to a snowstorm. Now, I would like to wrap up my presentation by this quote from April Rain saying that the Academy has worked to address its diversity problem, but there's still much more to be done.